There are enormous opportunities in Nigeria's power sector, but deficiencies in technology and insufficient investments in homegrown research and development constrain growth. That's according to the chairman and chief executive officer of Momas Electricity Meters Manufacturing Company Limited, Mr. Kola Balogun, who says part of the company's contribution to society is training youth in technology. Take a look.
Momas company started 3 decades ago in order to address the technology deficiency of the country. And we started from being a computer service provider before we find ourselves addressing the shortfall on the downstream sector of the power sector. The downstreams are the collection point of money, and the only device that does that is meters. So we now move from conventional meter to prepaid meters because we felt the upstream are lacking investment, and the only way that can guarantee the upstream investment is prepaid. If you prepaid for a service, then you have sufficient money to put on the upstream. Upstream are generation, transmission, as the case may be. But we used to import those meters, but today we are manufacturing meter 100% in Nigeria, designed by Nigerians.
Speaking of quality service to customers, the issue of electricity supply in Nigeria has been a very, very thorny issue. What really is the challenge with meeting up with the obligation of supplying adequate electricity to consumers?
Our promise to customers is to provide undiluted service integrity in terms of providing electricity meter to consumers. We have 2 types of consumers in the network. We have the private consumer and the public consumers. The private consumers are university, military barrack, estate owner, etc., that we sell meter to, because the interface between them and the disco is on the transformer, either 33 or 11. They meter them there and they collect their money. So in order to do internal reconciliation, we do sell meter to them directly. But on the public transformer, that's where you have all kind of mixed customer. We have on meter customer, estimated billing, meter customer, and all kind of hindrances that is affecting the efficiency supply of the power sector. That's where we have the major challenges facing the sector, public transformer, because that's where we have so much dilapidation in the infrastructure. And that's why we don't have efficiency. And that's why we have larger metering deficiency or metering gap for the country.
Just as businesses owe their customers a duty to provide quality service, same way you can say a duty is owed society. How is Momas Group giving back to society?
Yes, this factory was set up almost 7 years ago. The price of land there within this neighborhood is like giveaway before we set up this factory. So as soon as this factory was set up, the land cost rise up astronomically, that people are not buying it very well. That, first of all, make the community so excited that we have created a new value for their existence, because we now have people coming here, renting apartments and every kind of houses they have built without people occupying it. However, because of our contribution to the community, we will be able to exchange a lot of good offer to them by building school for them, building boreholes, and renovating some of their dilapidated classroom. And most importantly, we are now to rekindle the lost glory of virtue of Nigerian citizen, because every young Nigerian citizen wants to believe that I want to make money quickly without necessarily working hard. So in part of our corporate social responsibility advocacy is to bring out the slogan of working hard. A recent time on COVID, we had to share some palliative. These are things we've been adding value. But you know, the corporate social responsibility does not stop at the community alone. When you are empowering people, student who comes here for their IT, or staff that you are employing, you're actually taking people out of the street and you are empowering them. We do train people both in and outside the country. And that is the highest level of proficiency for any nation. Because as soon as you train one person to a very highest level of knowledge in terms of designing embedded circuit, you have created another generation. Because what it means is that even if it's not with you today, you can set up a similar factory like this, and you have empowered such person. And that's what we have been doing. During the course of our journey, we realized that there are so many deficiencies in terms of manpower development. And that's why we created one arm of our operation called Momas School. Part of our CSR is to manpower development in terms of skill acquisition. So we train a lot of young graduates, school start holder, to learn how to do meter installation. And the good news is that after the training, we employ them, because there are 1,001 meter installation requirements outside there. Also, we train them virtual, not to compromise, not to collide with any of the consumers to cheat the system or to bypass the electricity, because it's changing the disco owner. And those are part of our advocacy to change the narrative of the way we do things in Nigeria in order to upscale our knowledge gap and virtue to service the community. So we do character building here as well, so that we will change the narrative. And I'm glad to tell you that this is one of the high-tech company that is pure Nigerian content, is to make Black nation proud, because we are 100% Black here, and all the knowledge are Black-based, and that is our philosophy, to change the narrative that Black can as well do something that is acceptable to the global community and they can be proud of. And that's the position we maintain.
Would you say private companies are doing enough in terms of giving back to society?
I can tell you right away that the reason why most companies will not do very well is because of policy non-alignment in the sector. If, for instance, CBN is trying to come out with a policy, you should call every stakeholder. It's not that CBN will do one policy, another agency will do a counter policy that will not recognize the effect of what the CBN is saying. There must be an agency of government that monitors CSR, and there must be an incentive. It is when an agency of government is overseeing or monitoring the CSR contribution of every organization that they can give further incentive for such organization. Because everybody wants to have their way, I mean, especially when you are not Nigerian-based company. You give preference to your foreign company. And that's why it is important for every Nigerian to drive made in Nigerian product, to support any Nigerian-made company that is totally Nigeria. Those are things that will actually increase the CSR, because nobody will love our country more than ourselves. And those are things that the government needs to focus on to ensure that they direct the appropriate agency to monitor the CSR, to ensure that CSR criteria are defined and monitor compliance to CSR. What value are you adding to your community? What value are you adding to the society? What did you have in mind to upscale human capability within your neighborhood?
Indeed, there's a growing awareness of the role of corporations in developing society. And that's where we end today's program. Thank you for watching. Let's stay connected on social media. On Twitter, we're at CTV Kaleidoscope, or you can send an email. The address is showing on your screen. I'm Uche Aluku. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.